why being good looking is a big problem for men. Let's hop into it.
A lot of guys assume that if a man is handsome, then all of his problems with women are going to be solved. But as someone who has a number of handsome friends, I'm not handsome myself, I know, I'm just average looking, but as someone who has a number of handsome friends and has helped a lot of handsome men over the years to become successful with women, I'm aware of a secret that a lot of handsome men keep and rarely share with anyone else. And that is, handsome men are often pursued by very superficial women who really only want him for his looks.
They're pursued by a plethora of women, all types of women.
In most cases, the woman doesn't have the kind of looks that he really wants, but because she is pursuing him and she's being persistent, he gives her a chance and ends up in a relationship with her. Yet in other cases, the woman is pretty, but she is superficial in that she really cares about looks and thinks it's the most
The guy's choosing the wrong woman. He has a plethora of options, but he's choosing the wrong woman.
important thing. And as a result, in both cases, the handsome guy doesn't really feel like he's being loved for his true character. The woman is mostly with him because of his looks. If she's not very physically attractive herself, right, she's average or below average looking, then it's a huge bonus for her socially and emotionally to have a handsome guy.
That's facts. Apart from a girl being even more attracted to a dude in the relationship and can he get even more deep infatuation, the guy, if he's attractive, he's a bonus to her status, to her friend group, to her family and stuff.
Right, she can show off to her family and friends, she can walk down the street and feel proud that she's got a handsome guy and so forth, but the handsome guy is getting the short end of the stick there. He's not getting a really good deal. It's great that he was pursued by her, and for a while that might have made him feel kind of good, but it's not the kind of love that another guy will get to experience, where the woman actually loves him for who he is, right? She really loves his character. She loves the way he makes her feel and so forth. Now, of course, many handsome men...
I don't get it, because they can have the exact same thing, if not to even higher extent, because they're not fighting as hard to keep the girl's infatuation. I think I understand the point he's making, but this is the real point, like this is the real truth. Let's say they're normie, with a good character and all of that, yada yada. He's like a Big Mac menu, okay? He's good, he's bussin'. A basic one. But if he's a Chad and he also has character and personality and all that, he'll still have the Big Mac menu and he'll still have those attractive traits and the girl will still like that. But he's also an attractive dude, so that's the Big Mac menu with an extra coupon for a free burger the next time you go there.
out there do get to experience that at times, but for the most part, handsome men get pursued by superficial women or unattractive women.
Usually if the guy's superficial, because you tend to attract a person that's similar to you. It can sometimes be the opposites, that's usually in the beginning, but as you grow older, you attract what's kind of similar to you. So he's probably some Chad Light or something that goes to these parties and all of that, and he's living a superficial, shallow lifestyle. Therefore, he's attracting those type of girls.
And they eventually give those women a chance. And the handsome man is looked at by other guys as being really cool and handsome, like he can get all the girls, but secretly he doesn't feel as loved and he doesn't feel the kind of connection that he really wants to experience. So first I'll talk about
that is always the same fact of not choosing the right girl, and there are some dudes that do feel like that, but the majority of dudes that are like Chad Lights plus, they're vibing. They are vibing. That's just the way it is.
What a handsome man can do to fix the problem, and then I'll explain what an average looking guy or a below average looking guy can do to access attractive women.
I'll give you an example. These guys that he's talking about, they do exist, but you know who they are? The ones with attachment issues. The men that are like Chad plus that have attachment issues.
Handsome man needs to do is something that's difficult for a lot of handsome men, and that is they need to get out of their comfort zone and actually approach and select the type of women that they really want. Right? A lot of handsome guys get into a comfort zone where they get approached by women that usually aren't that attractive, but they pursue them and they give them a chance. And they kind of go through that and eventually get a girl, in many cases, that's fairly good, she's decent, and the guy then settles down with her.
This is a really good point. This is a true point. This is for guys who don't maybe have even the frame to actually sift through and choose a woman if he's a higher man of attraction, so to say. And yes, the rare girls that do actually end up approaching a lot of dudes, since these guys maybe don't do games, since they're spoiled, since girls come, they'll just settle with the girl. And guess what? Maybe if a girl's out gaming dudes, maybe she ain't the best, brother.
But secretly he's thinking, damn it, I wish I had a prettier girlfriend or a prettier wife, right? But he never did step out of his comfort zone and actually walk up and talk to women that he found attractive and get a relationship started with them instead. Now, for average looking guys or below average looking guys, just understand that in most cases, a beautiful woman is not going to be amazed by your physical appearance and then come over and talk to you and want to be with you. It's rarely, if ever, going to happen. But a
Unless you're like a giga true Chad.
beautiful woman can feel amazed by how you make her feel when you interact with her. This is why you'll see guys.
That's true, but that's also attached to looks, because if you're a really good looking, charming dude, you go there and you're a natural, that is how she's gonna react. She's gonna, boom, get those butterflies. If you go and you make her feel nice and you're a sub 5, it's a whole different story.
And wonder, how did he get her? Right? It doesn't seem to make sense because the man and woman aren't on the same level of looks physically. She looks more physically attractive than him. So
Okay, buddy, what are these pictures? What are these pictures, man? No comment, bruh.
how did he get her? In many cases, he got her by giving himself a chance to actually try to attract her and get.
Bruh, there is no way these women are staying loyal to these dudes. I don't want to be mean, but either we know, guys, either they're banking, either they are banking, or they got the dong schlong and more.
Get things moving along. He gave himself a chance, right? And by doing that, he often comes across as a guy who has a bit of confidence because he's actually giving it a go, right? He's going after what he wants. And if he's determined during the interaction, not in a desperate way, but determined to stay in there.
Now I know why. You look at the status and it's like, me with my little bro. Why are they kissing? I don't know, bro. Alabama, some shit like that.
And continue talking to her and create a spark by, cracking some jokes here and there, being a bit charming and so forth, then in many cases he'll get a chance. Right? Now, if he has a higher level of skill, right, and he actually understands how to attract women during a conversation, then it's going to be a lot easier for him. He's going to get results more often. But some guys are able to get a chance just by giving themselves a chance, right?
Great point. That's a great point. You can develop yourself to a point that you can start succeeding. I'm not going to say you're to get the gig of Stacy, but it's true. It's not just all it's over, yada yada. And yeah, you ain't going to have a chance unless you give yourself a chance for real. I'm not saying now just go and do a game. No, but better your social life. Sheesh.
Giving themselves the opportunity to talk to the woman and actually get things moving along. Most of the guys who have contacted me over the years who complain about the dating scene and say that it's all too difficult, women are too picky, and so forth, are the guys who don't actually walk up and talk to attractive women. Now, of course, some guys do approach attractive women, but they don't know how to attract her during a conversation.
They don't know how to attract her, and maybe they just don't attract her. Maybe they're just not attractive to her.
Or they come across as too nervous, too unsure of themselves, or they say the wrong things during the interaction that gets the woman's guard up, and the guy then doesn't get a chance. And he says, well, beautiful women, attractive women, they're all too picky, it's too difficult, I can't do it, no. Now, it's usually easier for a handsome man because when he starts talking to a woman, she looks at his physical appearance and the fact that he has the confidence to come over and talk to her, and she's like, oh, wow. And she feels interested right away. Whereas someone like myself, the woman isn't amazed by my physical appearance at the start, but because I know how to display traits like confidence, charm, masculinity, and charisma in a way that attracts women.
Respect. Mad respect on this man, mad respect.
As well as use the kind of humor that attracts women, it causes women to feel multiple sparks of attraction for me during an interaction. The really cool thing is that when you make a woman feel attracted to you by displaying traits like confidence, charm, charisma, and so on, she then actually looks at you as being more physically attractive than she initially judged because she's now looking at you through the lens of attraction.
Very true. That's a factual point, boys.
Of course, I didn't always know that. The thing is, I used to think that I was cursed with women because I didn't look like a good-looking guy or a handsome man. No attractive women approach me, and when I tried to talk to attractive women, I'd get rejected, ignored, or friend-zoned. That really hurt, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it forced me to do something that most handsome men will never do, and that is actively approach women every weekend until I figured out what to say and do.
That's super true, and that's a super good point. The fact that apart that attractive dudes, I know a lot who do approach actually, just because they like it. But he's approaching guys, and he's approaching and actually, my guess is analyzing, and he has an active social life. He's actually spending time with women, so he's developing his social skills. He's developing knowledge of female nature, of human interactions and stuff. And when you do something a lot, you gain experience, and your mind starts to know how to handle certain situations. So when a girl starts shit testing, maybe she'll throw some like testing rejections. The guy knows how to bounce it off. He knows how to act right, and he just has the knowledge of game, guys. So these are not copium pictures. I don't believe. I don't know the guy. I never met him, but I think these pictures are completely legit. The issue is that no dude, like such a small percentage, actually puts enough effort to develop good, high quality game, and most won't. But this is totally believable. The only sad part is, 1%. 4% of the dudes who get into the red pill will actually develop like wow game.
To make women feel attracted to me. Once I figured that out, I then enjoyed a smorgasbord of beautiful, pretty, and cute women. On a side note though, the women I picked up, had sex, and had relationships with over the years would have most likely preferred to be approached by a tall, handsome man, right? I'm only 5'9" in terms of height, but the tall, handsome men rarely, if ever, approach.
Factual. And what a legend. Respect to this dude. It's not even just like he's just like, wow, magically has the balls to do it. Nah, this guy had to go there, approach girls, and he got the results.
So I got the girl instead. So the solution for all men, regardless of looks, isn't to wait around hoping to be pursued by women that you want. Instead, you need to know what to say and do to attract a woman during an interaction, and then give yourself the opportunity to do that. Then as long as you know what you're doing with that sort of opportunity, right, you know how to move things from one step to the next, you get results with most of the women that you approach. You get phone numbers, you get kisses, sex on the first night, or you get the phone number and set up a date and then have sex.
Ooh, what was that, baddie?
To the next,
Wait.
You get results with most of the women that you approach. You get phone numbers, you get kisses, sex on the
Damn, she looks small.
first night, or you get the phone number and set up a date and then have sex with her and start a relationship. Handsome guys can do that, average looking guys can do it, below average looking guys, and even guys that others may say look ugly can
Okay. What's going on here, boys? What's going on here?
do it, right? It's not possible for an ugly guy to pick up every woman in the world, but if an ugly guy, or a guy that people say is ugly, gives himself
His sister, his cousin.
a chance and he's confident, he will get more results than a handsome guy who doesn't even approach women.
No. No. I'm sorry, man. No. The handsome dude, the handsome, not just like handsome, the actual like Chad level handsome, he goes to the club and he will be able to walk out with basically any of the girls there. I understand the approaching, but if he's aware enough and girls are making it very evident around him, the Chad, since he has so much experience with women, he already built the confidence, so they already have the power to be able to approach. The girl make it so obvious, bang, he'll break the barrier, make out, home. Easy.
Right, because he's actually giving himself a chance. He's putting himself in front of the beautiful woman or the attractive woman, the pretty
Most cases. Hi, get the fuck out of here. No, okay, maybe not that bad. Pulls up and it's like, I'm sorry, I'm here with my friends. I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. That doesn't mean not to do it. And I'm talking about the ugly dudes. Not you, coping loser mental cells who can actually do something, but don't. Accept respect to the ones who do, brothers.
woman. He is being confident, he's being charming, he's making her laugh, and he's moving things forward. He's giving himself a chance. Now, a couple of important things to point out here is that you may have heard the phrase attraction to looks fades over time, right? You might have heard that before, but that's actually a beginner level understanding of what the reality is regarding attraction and looks in a relationship. I'll explain that in a second. Now, the other point is that when I talk about this sort of stuff, there's always some guy that comes along and says, well, hang on, What if she gets with a guy that's below average looking and then she eventually realizes that he's not good looking enough and then she leaves him and gets with a good looking guy?
Happens all the time.
Right, and then he's stuffed. Right, so I'll talk about those two things now. Now, attraction to looks fades.
Like just in my life, not even counting myself, my own experiences, I've seen this happen like 3 times. 3 times.
Over time in a relationship. Yes, if the couple aren't in love. When a couple remains in love, they look at each other with what I call love goggles. It's similar to beer goggles when you've been drinking a lot and an unattractive woman suddenly looks more attractive and appealing. In terms of a relationship, when you create a relationship dynamic where both you and her remain in love and have love goggles on, you literally continue looking at each other as attractive.
That's infatuation. Why do people call it love? That's not love. That's infatuation. It eventually ends. It eventually stops. Yes, there are other relationships where it continues forever. Yada, yada, fantasy land. That's beautiful. I hope my relationship will do the same. But love is something deeper. Love is something more humble. Love is sacrificial and stuff. It's not the infatuation. And the infatuation eventually does wear off. It can come up, spark back up. But that's an issue.
Even after decades have gone by. Yet, if a couple falls out of love, then they stop looking at each other with love in their eyes, right? And they start to look at the flaws. And they start saying, well, I don't like the way that, she's got that scar on her face. I don't like the shape of her nose now. Why didn't I ever notice that? I don't like this part of her body or whatever. And
that's brutal. That's a brutal point in a relationship. That's brutal.
The guy starts to notice that, or she starts to notice things about him and doesn't like it anymore. That's because they're not in love with each other. And that then answers the second point I was making there, where guys say, hang on, but you attract her initially, but then she realizes that you're not good looking and she leaves you and cheats on you with a better guy, and then you're screwed. Yes, that will happen if you're not able to maintain the relationship properly, if you're not able to.
Yeah, for many guys, even like chats, that happens.
To create a dynamic where the love, respect, and attraction grows between you and her, and she falls out of love with you and then loses attraction for you. But if you're able to create and maintain a dynamic where you and her are in love, she will continue to look at you as the one for her, right? She won't want any other.
It's possible. It's possible.
Guy. She may look at another man and think, yep, he's handsome, but she is not going to want to leave and lose the love and the amazing feelings that she has for you and the amazing experience that you have together as a couple based on the dynamic that you have, just to go be with a handsome man.
Then feminism hit. Boom.
Just doesn't work like that. Of course, there are minute exceptions here where a woman can be sane and then go insane. She can become a crazy woman and then she leaves you, or you don't manage the relationship correctly and she starts hanging out with the wrong crowd and you don't know how to handle that, and then
that's an issue, hanging out with the wrong crowd,
and she ends up cheating and so forth. That sort of stuff can happen if you don't handle the relationship properly. But if you create a dynamic between you and your woman where the respect, attraction, and love grows over time, then both of you don't want to be with anyone else. All right, I can tell you 10 years into a relationship, I see other women and I can look and say, yeah, she's pretty, she's attractive, but I would not want to be with her instead of my wife. No way would I want that.
I respect that. I respect that.
The amount of levels that her and I have gone through in the relationship where the respect, attraction, and love has become even deeper is something that, another woman might not even be capable of because of her level of intelligence, or she may just not be the right sort of match emotionally or whatever. She might have a nice butt or she might have a nice rack or whatever, but I've already got that. Why would I want to get that with another woman and then start all over again, right? You just get to a point where it doesn't make sense to leave and be with someone else, right? And the woman feels that too, right? She realizes that the chance of her finding a man who's able to make her feel the way that you do is basically 1 in a million. So it's not worth the risk. And as a result, she doesn't leave you. She doesn't suddenly say, hang on a second.
Okay, I think we've gone on long enough. I like a lot of the points. Of course, they're the points I don't agree with, which kind of are too much the power of game and belittling a little bit the power of looks. which is nice in theory and stuff. But yeah, a lot of truths. I like this guy. I like how he talks. He doesn't sound demeaning or like too preachy. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm very interested.